Hello. Woo! Welcome to part 3, man. Welcome to part 3. Today we're going to be going over hybrid, the last section, the drop that I never got to. That's my bad. I was lazy. Had other things going on. But I'm glad you're here. And today we're going to be going over the final drop of hybrid and talk about the elements that I put in there that were not featured in the earlier part of the song, and talk about how I kind of teased them in. Also, I'll talk about how I brought all of the elements that I chose to keep it from the first half and like see how I made a soup of it all. There's new elements, the old elements that layer on the kick, made it a little bit more housey, liven up the mix, and then also I added a couple more instruments to give it a little bit more bounce to it, and I removed some of like the techno feel. So by the end of this little video, we're gonna see what makes this last section so different from the first half, and the first half being like really deep, kind of like techno. I mean, it's house, but like it's got like a techno vibe to it, you know? And then you've got this smooth, jazzy kind of like house section. Right? Just so you can see what we're looking at here. So, everything's gonna kind of just like dissipate right here, and we're gonna drop into this breakdown section. Coffee is like life-changing for me. I do like tea. I love tea. Tea's great. I think coffee is like a survival fluid at this point. I don't know what I would do without it. I love coffee. Okay. So you can hear this little like wobbling bass line underneath everything. That's like, it's part of this track in the original half, like the womp 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 womp. But these are new, these bass guitar things. This is brand new. It's the first time that you'll hear this in the track. But it plays a pretty big role in the main drop. So we got this wobble, and it had its first big tease right here, right? Those little sections that are just like stabby kind of rhythmic basses. Right? So that's like that undertone, I believe. Whoa. Yeah. So essentially here it just is a little bit filtered out. Takes all the high frequency out, that kind of sound. I like that actually. Everybody should be able to make noises with their mouth. If you're producing music, you should be able to tell somebody, I want to make a sound that goes and not be embarrassed by it. So anyway, the nah in that sound gets taken out. The high frequency, as you can tell by this auto filter right here that's highlighted. So over here, kind of a little more alive. Wow. Right? Here, not so much. All the crispy like grit is kind of taken out, so this can be a little bit more like subby. I still have those instruments that were like do 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 do. And you got a little bit of a hat going on here. I'm actually going to show you those things here again. So that filter that I was telling you about just a second ago, oh, maybe you could have seen it, but I didn't know because, you know, whatever. But just in case you couldn't see it because of the video, yeah, this instrument here, this wobble, a little bit difference in that filter, which makes a huge difference in the noise itself. Wow. And then, whoop, whoop, whoop. Cool. And that's the filter we're looking at. Just so you can see the difference between these two things. Look at that. All open. A little bit closed off. As you can see here in the drop, I just turn the filter off. And I allow the sound to be everything that it needs to be as it moves through the track. I really do love that bass guitar that I decided to throw in here. That's one of the elements that I was like, if I was producing this track for the first time today, I'm not sure if I would, I'm not sure if I would put that in there today or not. Like at the time I was just like, I want it, and I felt super creative, and I was trying to like force it in there, and it worked out. But who knows, maybe if I had another stab at this track, I wouldn't have put the bass guitar in there. But it's a nice touch. For me personally. Got a little bit of a building kick here. All the sound breaks away. And it really just gets into this like a little bit simpler of a part that's just ready to break down, right? It's essentially that section repeated with a little bit less elements in it, a little bit less action going on, you know? Okay, so my favorite parts of this last section is kind of the tasteful little cuts and edits and like things that make the thing not so repetitive. I'm an interesting mind. Like a lot of people, you are taught when you get into music that repetition and variation is like highly important, because most people that listen to music want to have something that's repetitive enough. Psychologically, they don't even know it's being buried subconsciously. I literally get driven crazy by that. My mind just works differently, I guess, and so my ears are like trying to pull out the variation and the differences that I can hear in these little like pieces of ear candy, because if I hear the same thing twice in a track, I'm instantly annoyed and instantly bored. Like, I have already heard this before. What are we repeating this again? So, like, there's a lot to it that my brain is just different on. That being said, I'm able to, like, keep some of those things in there that's, like, all of this, like, interesting variation, while at the same time maintaining enough repetition that a listener can stay interested in the track. Those variations are clear here where these drums kind of cut away, and you can tell that I filled it up with some space. So we'll just go right off the bat here. Right, so that's an interesting one because most people, I guarantee, would almost be like, bro, you cannot not have a kick on that one. Like, everybody's trying to fall back in there and like hit that beat, but for some reason, I personally was just like, I don't want it. I don't want it. So they can just skip that kick drum and wait for it to land when it's supposed to. Sorry, not sorry. Next section. Right? So these little things allow, like, going back to the first video, that's all space and distance too. Like, a lot of this creates this. So you got these kick drums and these hats and everything that is right in your face. And when this cuts out, you have these sounds that like go whoop right to the back. And you're just like, what the hell? Come back forward. And this one, these little tom drums. There's a little bit of effects on each of those too when they come back in, so that it has not so much of an impact, but more of like something telling you that like something happened, so to speak, right? What the hell?
Have you been exposed to cringy videos or cringeworthy behavior? Have you had valuable time stolen from you that you will never get back?
Have you been exposed to cringeworthy behavior or videos? Have you had valuable time taken away? Seconds? Minutes? Hours? Precious moments wrongfully stolen from you that you will never get back? Was it a coworker? An acquaintance? An accomplice on the last job? A friend? Mesothelioma? A secret lover, mistress, boyfriend, girlfriend, family member, or spouse? Maybe even a loved one. You're not alone. Millions suffer cringy behavior every day without knowing where to turn. What you need are real social justice warriors. Wasted time from cringy behavior or videos can come from anyone, anytime, anywhere. There's hope. There's help.
If you feel like you've been wrongfully or purposefully targeted by cringeworthy behaviors or videos, you might be entitled, but probably not compensated. Here at Social Media Damage Brothers in law firm Justice & Associates, we take your time seriously. We may not be able to get your time back, but we can take your money and make sure you feel like someone is on your side while wasting more of your time. We'll fight like the bulldogs we are to ensure we make your life seem it's easier than it ever would have been without us.
I was sick and tired of my grandkids showing me Kanye videos and Trevor Noah clips. And what Elon did at Diddy's parties with the former president. I sued him. Sure as shit. I told him no. I told him no more. And they tested my resolve. So I immediately contacted Social Media Damage Brothers in law firm Justice & Associates. And they got me what I deserved. Oh, I sure did. I'm nice and settled. Yep. Sure enough. I can't tell you if they're settled or not. Did you get a payout? No, but they said I got a good deal.
Social Media Damage Brothers in law firm Justice & Associates. One call and we'll be off and on the phone for months while we work through litigation, your bank account, mental state, and courtrooms, while we make you believe you're getting you the justice you think you deserve.
You don't pay until the case is over, and if we don't win, you still pay. Call now! Without this in here, without this effect, I mean, to me it's boring. You might not need it, you could probably get away with it, but that little extra whisk, that's huge roll to me, huge roll. It's okay. Woo! Bum, ba-da, bum, bum. Boom, 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 boom. Bum, boom, bum, ba-da, boom, boom. Yeah, and a random static. That random static thing is like one of my favorites. It's like one of my favorite moments to come to in the track. Every time it hits, I'm just like, pause. I don't know. I dig it. That bass guitar.